Well folks, get ready for an interesting ride as winter transitions into spring this year. The weather patterns are going to keep us on our toes. The upcoming months are shaping up to be a fascinating mix of classic winter weather and some early hints of spring, all thanks to a weak La Niña event currently brewing in the Pacific Ocean. This phenomenon is known to influence weather patterns across the globe, and this year is no exception. Across the United States and Canada, we're expecting a mixed bag of snowfall patterns. This means that while some areas will experience heavy snowfall, others might see much less than they are used to. Some regions might see above-average accumulations, leading to picturesque winter scenes and potentially challenging travel conditions. While others may find themselves with a less snowy season than usual. This could be a relief for some but a disappointment for winter sports enthusiasts. The good news is, with the help of advanced weather models like the ECMWF and GFS, we can get a pretty good idea of what to expect in the coming weeks. These models use a combination of historical data and current atmospheric conditions to predict future weather patterns with remarkable accuracy. These models are giving us valuable insights into how La Niña's influence, combined with other atmospheric factors like the polar vortex, will shape our weather. The polar vortex, a large area of low pressure and cold air surrounding the Earth's poles, can have a significant impact on winter weather. Will impact snowfall throughout February, March, and April. February is expected to bring some of the heaviest snowfall, while March will see a mix of snow and early spring conditions. By April, we should start to see the snow melting and the first signs of spring emerging. So grab your winter gear because we're about to dive into the details of what's in store for the rest of the winter-spring season. Whether you're a fan of snowy landscapes or looking forward to the warmer days of spring, there's something for everyone in this year's forecast. Stay tuned as we break down the predictions for each region and help you prepare for the weather ahead. Before we jump into the specifics, let's talk about La Niña, the weather phenomenon that's playing a key role in shaping our winter-spring forecast. La Niña, which translates to the girl in Spanish, is the counterpart to El Niño, and both are part of a larger climate pattern known as the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO for short. You see, La Niña is characterized by cooler-than-average water temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. These cooler waters are the result of stronger-than-usual trade winds that push warm water westward, allowing cold water from the deep ocean to rise to the surface. Now, even though it's a long way off the coast, this change in ocean temperature can have ripple effects that influence weather patterns across the globe. The cooler waters can alter atmospheric circulation, which in turn affects weather systems far from the Pacific Ocean. This year, we're dealing with a weak La Niña event. While it may not be as intense as some past events, it still has the potential to impact weather in significant ways. This means its effects might be a little more subtle and less dramatic than a strong La Niña. However, even a weak La Niña can still influence weather patterns, leading to noticeable changes in temperature and precipitation. But don't let that fool you. The impacts of La Niña can still be quite significant, especially when it comes to winter weather. Even a weak La Niña can still nudge the jet stream, a fast-flowing air current high in the atmosphere that acts like a boundary between cold and warm air masses. The jet stream's position and strength can determine the path of storms and the distribution of weather systems. This shift in the jet stream can influence where storms track, how much precipitation falls, and ultimately, how much snow blankets the ground. For instance, a more southerly jet stream can bring colder air and increased snowfall to regions that might not typically see such conditions, while a more northerly jet stream can lead to milder and drier conditions in other areas. Understanding these patterns is crucial for preparing for the season ahead. So, what does this mean for February? Well, the ECMWF and GFS models are showing some interesting trends. For the northern United States, particularly the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies, La Niña's influence could bring slightly above-average snowfall. This means you folks in Seattle, Portland, and parts of Montana and Idaho might want to keep those snow shovels handy. Meanwhile, across southern Canada, the story is a little different. La Niña tends to bring drier and milder conditions to this region, so snowfall might be a bit below average. However, don't pack away your winter coats just yet. Remember, weather is a complex system and there's always a chance for a surprise snowstorm or two. As we move into March, the battle between winter's chill and spring's warmth intensifies. This is when La Niña's influence becomes a bit more uncertain. The ECMWF model suggests that parts of the Great Lakes region and the Northeast might see some late-season snowstorms, potentially bringing above-average snowfall. However, the GFS model paints a slightly different picture, leaning towards near-average snowfall for much of the United States. As for Canada, March is likely to see a continuation of the drier and milder trend, with snowfall generally below average. Keep in mind though that these are just long-range predictions, and the actual outcome could vary. Section 5. April showers or snow flurries. A glimpse into spring. By April, spring begins to assert its dominance and thoughts of snowstorms fade into the background. Both the ECMWF and GFS models suggest that April will bring near-average snowfall for most of the United States and Canada. However, don't be surprised if a rogue snow flurry or two makes a surprise appearance, especially in higher elevations or northern latitudes. Remember, spring is a time of transition, and Mother Nature loves to keep us on our toes. As we move further into April, the focus will shift towards rainfall and warmer temperatures, paving the way for a vibrant and blooming spring season. Section 6. La Niña's atmospheric dance, highs, lows, and shifting weather patterns. In this section we delve into the fascinating interplay between atmospheric forces and oceanic phenomena, focusing on the intricate dance orchestrated by La Niña. Now let's take a closer look at how La Niña influences those high and low pressure systems that dictate our weather. These pressure systems are like the conductors of an orchestra, guiding the symphony of weather patterns across the globe. Remember those cooler than average waters in the Pacific? They play a crucial role in setting the stage for La Niña's atmospheric performance. Well, they can create a domino effect in the atmosphere. This chain reaction starts with the cooling of the ocean surface, which then influences the air above it, leading to a cascade of changes in weather patterns. La Niña tends to promote the development of a large-scale high-pressure system over the North Pacific. This high-pressure system acts like a barrier, redirecting the flow of the jet stream. This high-pressure system then pushes the jet stream northward, altering its typical path across North America. The jet stream is a fast-flowing river of air high in the atmosphere, and its position can greatly influence weather conditions. This can have a significant impact on where storms track and how much precipitation falls. The altered jet stream path can steer storms away from some regions while directing them towards others. For example, a northward shift in the jet stream can lead to drier conditions in the southern US and parts of Canada, exacerbating drought conditions and affecting agriculture, while bringing more moisture to the Pacific Northwest. This increased precipitation can replenish water supplies and support lush vegetation in the region. It's all a delicate dance of atmospheric pressure, and La Niña is a skilled choreographer. By understanding this dance, we can better predict and prepare for the weather patterns that shape our world. Section 7. The Polar Vortex, a wildcard in the winter weather deck. Of course, we can't talk about winter weather without mentioning the polar vortex, that swirling mass of cold air that normally resides over the Arctic. The polar vortex can sometimes weaken and wobble, sending frigid air southward into the mid-latitudes. While La Niña doesn't directly control the polar vortex, it can influence its behavior. For example, a strong La Niña can sometimes weaken the polar vortex, making it more likely to unleash cold air outbreaks. However, with a weak La Niña this year, the polar vortex is expected to remain relatively stable, with fewer chances of major southward intrusions. Section 8. Conclusion. Navigating the snow and preparing for spring. So, as we navigate the final stretch of winter and transition into spring, remember that a weak La Niña is adding its own twist to the weather patterns. While snowfall predictions provide valuable guidance, it's always wise to stay informed about the latest forecasts and be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws our way. One thing's for sure, whether we're greeted by snow flurries or spring showers, the coming months promise to be an exciting time in the world of weather. So, bundle up, enjoy the remaining days of winter, and get ready for the beauty of spring.